Oh, it's frozen? I know why that is. Now we should all be moving. Are we good? No. No, because you're not looking at the stream. I'm not I'm not looking at the stream either. What does the stream look like? Oh, okay. You see that, Jerry? You think I've become a Twitch expert, man, like the kids. I'm telling you. I'm going from TV producer to Twitch producer in the blink of an eye. I refused I refuse to be a dinosaur in my own industry. Anyone can be a producer. What I do is bullshit. Anyone can be a producer. So we are waiting for David Floor. I see there's already people in the chat room. That's interesting. Let me tell you something. I've never done this before, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous about it. Um, Someone says they cannot hear the players. Okay. Nope. That's something I have to do here on my end. Let me figure that out. Oh, I know what it is. Hold on. I gotta add a audio output capture, or is it input capture? Audio input capture. And can you guys talk?
Yep.
Okay.
Testing.
All
Testing.
right. I think now the players should have audio.
Let's see. Can they hear us in the chat room?
Can the chat tell me if they're hearing players now,
We're
please?
frozen again, though.
No, no, you're not frozen.
Okay.
The thing is that when I switch over to OBS, it freezes you because
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. All right, everybody. So the chat room is hearing you now, so you may want to introduce yourselves. Why don't we start with Tori B, and then we'll save David Floor for last because he's apparently making a guest entrance like some sort of superstar. So let's start with Tori, and then
What should I say?
I don't know. You say hi, you say who you are, and I don't know, say hello.
Okay, hi. My name's Tori.
Wow.
Hi.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
I'm excited to play. I don't know what else to
I
say.
think people have learned a lot about you now with this.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's great. All right. Nate.
Okay. Hi, my name's Nate. I'm a teacher. I live in Massachusetts. Never played this game before. Played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, a lot of Top Secret, um, Star Wars role playing games. But this game is interesting. Looking forward to it.
All right, time out. Did you see that? That was a good introduction. He spoke about the games he's played. He spoke about what he does. He spoke about
Okay. Give me a do-over. Can I get a do-over?
yes.
Okay. Hi, my name's Tori. I'm 44. I've been playing games my entire life. I think I started playing D&D back when it was first edition. My first game was when I was 12 years old. And I never really stopped playing, but in the past couple of years, I haven't played as much as I'd like to. I'm pretty sure I'm the one that convinced this guy to start playing way back in the day, though I don't know if he likes to admit that. Uh, Other than that, I've never played this game either, and I'm excited to give it a shot.
All right. Dread Gazebo.
Hi, my name is Jerry. I'm 34. I work in IT. I freelance on the side. I've done a lot of freelance work for both Dungeons and Dragons and this game, Shadow of the Demon Lord, for Schwab Entertainment. I currently run a little publishing company called Black Candle Games with a buddy of mine and my wife, and I'm just a big nerd. I mostly play D&D, play some Savage Worlds, and I started D&D in second edition, and it still has like a special place in my heart,
All right.
even though the rules were terrible.
And David Floor is still not here.
Hmm.
Hold on. Let me send out another. I saw a thing he posted on Twitter saying stage fright has begun to set in. Maybe he's hiding under his desk. Well, then, I should say that my name is Enrique. I have also been playing D&D and games a long time. I think, yes, in fact, my sister did introduce me to D&D, maybe. Although I don't know if I would want to admit that. I don't know. I think we started at the same time. Yeah, I think so. But whatever, it doesn't matter. We're getting into nonsense. Who cares? The point is that we're both longtime players, and I've, I skipped over third edition kind of. I didn't like it. I went into fourth edition. I started a D&D blog, and I got in the D&D community on Twitter, and now here I am streaming a game on the internet, and this is all really weird. But here we are. So, Shadow of the Demon Lord. Shadow of the Demon Lord is a game that actually one of my Twitter followers sent me the book as a gift. I didn't go out and buy it. I expressed some interest in it. I thought it sounded like a interesting game, and this dude sent it to me on Amazon as a gift, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And I read the book, and it instantly grabbed me. I thought it was a fantastic read. The tone of the game and the humor and the darkness of it and the whole atmosphere really grabbed me in a big way, and I started buying PDFs and all sorts of things. And before I knew it, I had books, I had GM screens, and I had supplements that I couldn't do anything with them because I had no one to play with. And I said, well, I'm going to run a game online, and finally, after 2 years, I'm running the game online. So, here we are.
Damn.
Yeah, goddamn. So, David Floor, who is that white rabbit. I wonder if that's one of the rabbits from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That killer rabbit that attacks the knights or whatever. Anyways, he is still not here. So, I say we start character creation without him, and then we'll get on with it. So I sent you guys a little thing yesterday. I don't know if you all had a chance to read it. Sort of setting the tone and setting the mood of the setting. The setting is a world facing its apocalypse. Basically, the demon lord is on his way to the world to basically devour the world with his endless hunger. He is sort of an unseen force in the game. He's kind of a shadow that looms over the entire setting. He's the one foretold, the destroyer of worlds, the hunger, the shuddering one, the one who whispers, the shadow in the void. The dark between the stars and the unspeakable one are all words used to describe the demon lord. Its will alone snuffs out the stars, and its shadow ends realities. And right now, he is coming for your world, and it is up to heroes to rise from anywhere in the world, be it the shadows, be it the far corners of the earth, wherever, to come out and try to save the world from its foretold doom at the hands of the demon lord. As this is happening, the world, the shadow of the demon lord manifests itself in different ways. One of those ways is war, and the empire that you all live in is burning. The empire has fallen to the orcs. The orcs were slaves of the empire for many years, centuries maybe, and they have risen against their masters and have broken the shackles of slavery. And right now, an orc king sits on the throne of the empire, and people are fleeing the major cities. They're headed out to the outskirts of the world, and right now, the area you live in, the Northern Reach, which is kind of like a backwater part of the empire, is where our campaign is going to take place, specifically in a city called Crossings. Crossings is a city of about 19, 20,000 people. It is a fairly large city divided into a series of districts. Um, and this is where our story about the coming darkness of the demon lord will take place. Um, as you know, the character creation in this game, you basically start with an ancestry and you pick a profession, and it's sort of a zero level beginning to the game. You're starting adventure. You don't really have. Um, there's no classes in this game like D&D. So you basically, based on your experiences in your starting adventure, is what determines who you become and what it is you do in the world once you start adventuring and once you sort of take off to try to save the world. So I thought we should do character creation and have a little session zero before we get into the actual story. That doesn't mean that tonight we can't do it. You know, character creation is fairly quick. Um, we're gonna create characters. We're going to set up some connections to the city. I'm gonna show you guys some NPCs that are the main NPCs of the city of Crossings and sort of the main NPCs of the campaign. You're all gonna have a chance to be connected to some of those people. The gist of it is that you're going to tell me how you're connected to them. I'm not going to tell you. So I'm going to let you create some of those backstories based on information I'm going to give you on the NPCs to sort of give you some instant connection to the world and to the setting and maybe to each other. So we're going to start. David, are you there? Can you hear me? David and I were on Roll20, I think it was last night, and everything was working fine. Today, all I see is a big rabbit head. All right, so Tori, we'll start with you. I know you already made a character, and that's fine. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your character, who she is, and what the deal is?
Uh, she's a former student of law at a local, whatever passes for a university. And when the empire fell, her education did too. So when the orcs took over the empire, they closed all the schools and all the students had to find something else to do. So I've kind of been living on the streets, hustling really to make ends meet. Uh, yeah, that's about it. My name is Talia.
What's your profession?
My profession is law and politics, but more as a student than an actual practitioner.
Okay. So you would be familiar with maybe the power structure in the city you're in,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some of um, the law enforcement, which it's no secret here. They're called the Brown Cloaks. You would all know that as citizens of Crossings. So perhaps you're familiar with the organization of the Brown Cloaks. You're familiar with the way the city is set up. There's a mayor, and then there's a council in the city of Crossings. That the council represents different factions and different districts in Crossings. So you would be familiar with that.
Okay.
That fair?
Yeah.
All right. David Floor says he can't hear anything. That's a problem on his end. Sorry, I'm texting him. Nate, so you want to go ahead and we'll work on your character. We'll create your character together based on following the book.
Perfect.
All right. So did you have a chance to look at the ancestries in the game?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So for those watching the stream who may not know, ancestries basically are this game's version of races. What a race would be in D&D. They call ancestries, and starting ancestries in this game are humans, changelings, which are basically shapeshifters, and they can steal identities and whatnot. Clockworks, which are mechanical creatures. Dwarves, goblins, and orcs. And then there's a few other ancestries. There's halflings, and from another supplement, you could be a halfling. You could be gnomes. There's a ton of ancestries, but the main book, the core book, really gives you humans, changelings, clockworks, dwarves, goblins, and orcs. So what have you decided you want to play?
I'm gonna do it. Play it safe and go human.
So 2 humans. All right. And have you looked at a profession?
No, but I can do that right now.
So hold on. Before we even get into that, let's look at your human, because we gotta pick your we gotta pick your attributes and
Yeah.
your scores and stuff like that. So if you want, go ahead and do that,
Okay.
and
So
then just if you feel like sharing it with us, do. If you don't, it doesn't matter.
your attributes, if I read it right, it's just everything is it starts off as a 10, and because he's human, he can raise one by one. Is that
So
accurate?
let me see. You average people have a score of 10. You can increase one score by one and decrease another one by one.
And then humans, it says choose one attribute and increase it by one.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna do.
So
I'm
you
gonna
could
make
so
my
you could increase one attribute by one,
right.
decreasing another one by one, and then you could add an extra one to any attribute.
Okay. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have my strength 10, my agility 10, intellect 12, and will 9.
Okay. So just so you're aware, your strength and your agility determine your defense and your hit points, just so you know.
Yes.
Your health, really. They're not called hit points.
Right.
But
Right.
okay. All right, and then everything else is fairly simple. Your perception equals your intellect, your defense equals your agility, your health, your starting health equals your strength,
Healing is yeah.
and your healing rate is 1/4 of your health, rounding down. This game is deadly, by the way. I think it's no secret here when you look at these things that, and if you look at healing, the way healing works, this game
Yeah.
is not. It's not like D&D where it takes work to kill you. This game is fairly deadly. I don't want to call it a meat grinder, but I'm gonna call it a meat grinder.
So I didn't determine anything else on here because I figured we were doing that tonight.
Okay, so
And I'm willing to go random here. I'm willing to go, roll 20 and
well, I love
Breezes by pretty quick if you do the randoms.
I love random. So if you want to do random,
all right.
we could play along and we can determine. I can help you come up with stuff if you want for random.
All right. So I got an 11 for background, which is you fell in love and the relationship ended well or is ongoing. So that's background. Religion, 3d6. That's going to be 2 3s, 9. So the old faith. And I don't know how. I'll do random age. Why not? That's fun. 9. That makes him a young adult, 18 to 35 years old. Let's call it.
You're a millennial.
Yeah, let's call it 24.
So you're a millennial, which means you're killing every industry in this planet. By the way,
Everything's your fault.
Yeah, you're killing diamonds, you're killing wine, you're killing Hooters, you're killing everything.
Yeah, I read the story about Hooters.
Stop it, man! You're killing everything.
Roll it again for build. Roll.
Someone says they want to see the first TPK before character creation is over. This is not Traveler.
8. You are slender. Slender, 3d6. 16. Several attractive physical qualities that make you quite comely. I'll take that.
Where's that?
It's under human appearance on page
Oh, I see.
13. So that pushes me through all that.
That makes you quite comely. The only other time I've ever heard the word comely was that fake stat comeliness, and I think it was Unearthed Arcana, or was it in first edition? Yeah.
Good old comeliness.
I think that's the only time I've ever heard that word, and now I see it again in this game.
I feel like it's one of the words I learned as a kid playing D&D.
That's a word you only see in D&D.
Yep. All right.
And what's your religion again? I'm sorry.
Old Faith. The tenets of the Old Faith.
Okay, interesting.
So he's like a northerner in Game of Thrones.
Interesting. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. You worship the tree with the face.
right, right.
What about the?
And we get
And I missed this. What about your human personality?
personality. Oh, I missed that. That's why you missed it.
I mean, you don't have to go
3D.
random with that if you want. It's
That's fun. We'll see what random gives us. You look after yourself first and foremost. You are not above double crossing your friends.
nice.
That's pleasant.
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I'm sorry. What was your background?
I wrote, or it said, you fell in love and the relationship ended well or is ongoing.
Oh,
Um,
all right. Well, you don't have to decide that right now.
yeah, we'll see.
Tori, you found an old treasure map. Is that right? There's
Yeah.
David Floor.
Yes, I did.
You did.
But it had no words on it, just features. So I don't know where it's to.
Okay.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Beats the hell out of me. What just happened? Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right.
Carry on. Let me.
We're making characters.
Okay.
All right. So, Tori, do you feel like sharing any of the other things from your character, your personality, your religion, your age, and all that stuff?
Sure.
Your appearance.
Sure. Let's see. No religion. I'm 24. I'm pretty short. Dark skinned. I speak Common, which I can also read and write. And I can also speak High Archaic. Like I said, I'm pretty well versed in law and politics, as I would have graduated in those fields eventually if I'd had the chance. I've been living on the streets about a year now, I think, and I've done everything from breaking into homes to serving as a guard to doing odd jobs when I get the chance. Anything to survive.
So an orc took over, and your school shut down, and you were left without a degree. So basically, you attended Trump University.
Right.
Okay, I got it. All right, good. All right. David,
Yes.
I don't know if you just jumped in. We're making characters. I don't know if you don't wanna take your time, and I'll go to Jerry first, and then we'll come back to you.
Do I just roll arbitrarily?
Well,
can't hear.
there's no rolling.
Oh, okay.
Can everybody else see and hear David? I can't.
I do.
I can.
Jerry,
I
can
just
you hear
lost
him?
somebody.
See him? Well, he's muted.
Jerry.
Oh, sorry. I can't. Some of my kids were down here.
Oh.
Jerry
I
there?
can't see him. I can only see the bunny rabbit.
No, I see him.
I see a black screen. But I see him on the Twitch stream.
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
him on the
'cause-
Twitch stream.
Yeah, because I see him.
That's all that counts. The stream.
All right. So
Can I
so
hear
Jerry,
him?
why don't we go with your character?
Sure.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Before we do that,
go
Nate,
ahead.
what's your character's name again?
Oh, I'm gonna go Hathor.
Can you spell that?
Hathar.
I can't hear Nate.
And we have to. All right. So he's there. You'll see him in your. If you click on the little newspaper icon there, the little journal thing,
I gotcha. Yep.
you'll see him there, and you can go in there, and he's got a character sheet in there that you could
Oh,
play
perfect.
around with. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
And inside the character sheet, you could do your roles and you could attacks and stuff like that. So the character sheet, it's clickable, the different attributes. All right, Jerry. Let me create your character here. What's your character's name?
I don't know yet.
How do you spell that?
Well, I'm gonna make a goblin, but depending on what random stuff, I feel like I need to see all the random stuff that I end up with in order to choose a truly fitting name.
You know that today I thought about a goblin character, right? I'm so happy you're playing a goblin because I thought about I was thinking about a character that I wanted to play a goblin chimney sweep, which I thought would have been awesome. And now you're creating a goblin. Good for you. All right. So
So I'm
we'll leave the name blank, and you can.
yeah. All right. So I'm just gonna random everything, right? So I'm a goblin. Let's see how old I am. I got a 7. Ooh, I'm an adolescent. 7 to 10 years old.
So you're a 10-year-old
Let's
goblin.
yeah, let's go with 10. 10-year-old goblin. All
That's
right,
like my
let's.
son.
All right, let's see build. I got a 10. Oh, I'm. Oh no, I'm not pudgy. I fall within the normal height and weight ranges for goblins. I was hoping I'd be a little thick, but
Well, if you want to be thick, pick it.
I'm gonna be a thick little pudgy 10-year-old goblin.
Go for it.
All right, now a D20 for appearance. Fur grows thickly on your arms and legs. I'm like the wolf circus boy goblin.
Let me go
All
to
right.
goblins here in the book. Hold on. Okay.
All right, you ready for my goblin odd habit?
Yeah.
Odd habit. You wear a child's costume and refuse to take it off.
And what is that costume?
We're gonna say that it's like the demon lord equivalent of like, oh man, what was I into when I was 10? Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
So it's like it's not turtles though. It's like a shitty possum. It's like I'm like a possum with like a bandana with eye holes cut and like a
Okay.
shitty like wooden sword.
Okay. And
Uh,
what's your possum's shitty name?
I want to call him. I want to call my guy Pox. Pox or Puke, something that's just really unpleasant.
How about pube?
I think Pox rolls off the tongue better. No, you know what? Can
Does
I
it?
go with Snot? Can we wipe that all out? And can my goblin call himself Snot?
Absolutely.
All right.
It's not the 10-year-old goblin.
And my goblin background.
Ooh. Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Number 4
Okay.
would probably be the best for your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Let's just take it full Monty there, dude. You were
I
orphaned
was
and
orphaned and raised by giant rats.
yeah, isn't Splinter a giant rat?
Oh my god, it's too perfect. I was really happy with 5 being you accidentally released a demon into the world, but I think being raised by giant rats
Yeah.
along with being furry and yeah, no, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
This is
Let's
the
go
only
full.
kind of shit that can happen in Demon Lord random tables.
You're full
That's what's
Ninja
happening
Turtle.
right now.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Goblin.
And then let's see. Last but not least, I'll
You hear me, guys?
randomize my personality.
Yes,
Now
David.
again, David.
Yes,
Yep.
David. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
Nope. He just
Oh,
died.
he cut out.
All right. Say that again, Jerry.
So I randomized my personality and I rolled a d20, which was wrong. It's supposed to be 3d6, so let me re-roll. You love playing tricks on other people and find their pain hilarious.
Oh, that's gonna
Oh.
be fun.
The stars have aligned tonight.
Can you guys hear me? Because I can't hear Jerry. I can hear everybody else.
Yes,
I
we
can hear you, David.
Yes, we can.
I can't really hear Jerry either. Not very, like very dimly.
On mine, Jerry is dark.
Barely? I'm like really quiet to you? And Tori said I'm really quiet too. I can turn my microphone volume up because I have it turned down pretty far, but I don't want to like blow anybody's eardrum.
I mean, I hear you. You know, I hear you okay. I don't hear you great, but I hear you.
All right,
Maybe
hang
your
on, let
mic
me-
maybe your mic is too low. Maybe.
I lost his video as well.
How about now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Is it any better though? No?
It
Seems about the same.
seems about the same.
All right, hang on. I have it cranked way down because when I used to stream all the time, if I didn't turn it down, there was a terrible hiss.
Echo.
Got it.
How about now?
I can hear you.
Better.
That's better.
Not too loud though?
No, that's good. Very good.
Okay.
All right. So is your goblin done? Are we done with your goblin?
Yeah,
You
that's
said,
it.
I'm sorry. You said your name was what now?
I want to name my goblin Snot.
Snot. You gonna find an icon for me or link me a picture so I can create a token for you?
Yep.
Same thing for you, Nate. Find me a picture
Sure.
online, link it to me so I can create a token for you.
All right.
And damn it, David. Where did you go? There's that rabbit again. All right. So while David gets his shit together, I'm gonna switch us over to a map of the city of Crossings. Not really a map, but this is. Well, you know what? Let's do the map first. Let me switch over in the stream over to Roll20. So this is a map of the city, and you guys aren't seeing it because I'm a big doofus who hasn't switched you over. But now you should be seeing it. So this is a map of Crossings and its districts. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a description here of the city. It's a small city, 19,000 people, with many farms and small villages surrounding it. The city spreads across a ring of hills whose lower reaches are the southern shore of the dark waters, a misty lake speckled with forested islands. A wall of stone surrounds the city, and older lower walls rise within it, marking the boundaries of its districts or serving as mementos of the other settlements that once stood here. One feature of the city that you guys should be aware of are 6 slender towers of white stone that climb above the city, about 33 yards tall each. There's 6 of these things. They're called fairy spires. The true history of the fairy spires is long lost. Some people in the city believe that they were built by the Fae, and no one really knows. But they're spread out. You could see them on the map. They're spread out throughout the city. 6 of these fairy spires, and no one really knows what these things are. The districts in the city, and I'm gonna, pardon me as I flip pages here. It takes about an hour for you to move from one edge of a district to the other edge. And the districts are as follows. There's Coins. Coins is the trade district. There's Gabble, and this would be Talia's favorite district. Gabble is the city's political district, where you could find the courthouse, city hall, the mayor's house, and other buildings that work for the bureaucracy. There's Grievings. Grievings is the poorest and the most densely populated district in Crossings. There is Old Town, which marks the beginning of Crossings, and it was from this small district that the city first grew out. There's Purse. Purse is the home of the city's wealthiest citizens. There's Redemption, a district confined to a narrow sliver of territory carved out from the edge of Grievings, where the people of Crossings come to worship. Here you can find temples of every major religion and denomination, along with the Cathedral of the Ascended next to the Shrine of Astrid. Shrine of Astrid is a shrine to the new god. Some of you guys worship the old gods like you, Hadar. And then there's Smokestacks. Smokestacks lies to the east of Grievings, and it's the dirtiest and most polluted district in the city. Originally, it was the site of the Academy of Engineers. And the Smokestacks district has evolved whole industries devoted to supporting the academy, from wife spinners to foundries. It is a dirty, smoggy district covered in a layer of soot and permanent darkness almost. Not a very nice place. It's the home of the most undesirable trades you could find in the city. Then there's the district of Tankards, and that's the district, the docks district, basically, with docks jutting out over the dark waters and the businesses and homes huddled along the lake shore. You could smell the dead fish, burning oil, and sweat everywhere in this district. Tori, I don't know if you were listening or if you had disappeared for a bit, but there's a district called Gavel,
Right? The politics
which is
and
basically home of the courthouse and the bureaucracy and whatnot.
yeah.
Okay. So the city is run by a council. There is a mayor in the city, and a council that advises the mayor. The council is made up of members who represent the city's districts, industries, and other interests. The council members are appointed by their predecessors, and it can expand or contract its numbers based on a vote amongst its members. And the council members check the power of the mayor, and they have the power to oust the mayor if they want to. The Brown Cloaks are the law enforcement in the city, and then there's a small militia of about 200 people to protect against outside threats. And that's kind of the city in a big sort of macro view nutshell. I'm going to show you guys. Oh, Jerry, if you want, you can roll your profession and your wealth now.
I can, if you want to keep going, I can just do my die rolls in the chat, and I'll just type
Okay.
to you what they are.
Do it in the
I'm here.
Do it in the Roll20 chat. I'm not really.
Oh no, that's where I was gonna do.
Yeah. All right. So I want you guys to look. I'm going to show you guys a bunch of NPCs that are the most noticeable or the most what's the word I'm looking for? Notable characters in Crossings.
By the way, I'm here. I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. I don't know what the hell's been going on, but I'm trying to catch up. I don't know any of the characters yet, but I'll try to set up mine.
Okay.
So you keep going.
Nate, just so you know, you're muted, by the way. Okay. For some reason, just FYI. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm going to show you guys a bunch of NPCs. And what I want you guys to do is, each of you is going to get 1d3 plus 1 NPCs that you're somehow connected to. Okay? And what I want you guys to do is, if you see an NPC that calls your attention, based on the name and the appearance alone, you could ask me, and I'll give you a one-word description of that NPC. And if an NPC interests you, you can become connected to that NPC, and I will give you more information about that NPC. Okay? The gist here is that, sometimes we're connected to people and we happen to meet them once, and we sort of, we got to know them based on maybe just their appearance, or maybe just something we heard about them or something. So I'm trying to sort of recreate that in the game. So you're not going to know much about these people right now, but if you decide that you have a relationship with one of these people, then you'll learn more about them once you pick them. So let's look at these NPCs. And these are the most notable characters in the city of Crossings. And the city of Crossings is a city in the northern reach of the empire, a backwater region of the world, but a region of the world that is destined to become very important as the shadow of the Demon Lord creeps its way across the land. You guys can resize this map if it's too big for you. You do that locally at your computer. So I'll start with Tori. Tori, there are all these NPCs here. tell me if anyone here calls your attention. I can tell you that based on your interest in the law and your interest in that whole area of law enforcement and government, I'm going to give you some things that you would know, and all of you would know this off the top. So, Katrin Edgerton, there in the third row, is the mayor of Crossings. And John Crawley leads the Brown Cloaks.
Which one's the mayor?
I'm sorry?
Which one's the mayor?
So the mayor is this lady here, Katrin Edgerton. And then this gentleman here, John Crawley, leads the Black Cloaks. The Brown Cloaks, I'm sorry. Now, before we go on, you don't have to be uniquely tied to an NPC. You guys can share NPCs you're tied to. It doesn't, because that may even give me an opportunity to tie some of you together. So, don't feel limited by what someone else picks. So, Tori, I want you to roll a 1d6, and then that'll determine how many NPCs you're tied to. Let's do that first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a 3. So you're connected to 4 NPCs. If anyone here catches your eye, I'll give you a 1-word description about him. And then if you happen to want to know more about him, then you'll be tied to that NPC and I'll give you a full description.
Rena Front.
Rena Front. So Rena Front is brilliant.
Yeah, I want to know more.
Okay. So Rena is an engineer at the Academy of Engineers. She works there. She's a bit of a strange fellow. She's kind of she kind of keeps to herself, and she's kind of wiry and mousy and kind of nerdy, but she's a brilliant woman, and she is an engineer for the Empire, or what's left of the Empire, trying to survive the Orc uprising. The Academy of Engineers is a massive, sprawling complex built by the Empire.
Okay.
And basically they built it to compete with the chaotic and uncontrolled development of magic that came out of the 9 cities. The 9 cities is another region of the world. So it was kind of the Empire felt like countering the magic with engineering.
Okay, she sounds like someone I want to know.
Okay, so you are connected to Rena Front. You could tell me how. And if you want to think about it and come back, we can do that.
Let's do that.
Okay, Nate,
Yes.
your turn.
Roll 1d6.
Yep. That'll determine how many people you're connected to, and then we'll do a round robin.
3.
So you're connected to 3 NPCs
Okay.
in Crossings.
I'm going to go with...
And remember, you could ask me a 1-word description of anybody. You don't have to commit to...
Okay. Ambrose Quick.
Ambrose Quick. Oh, he's a good one. So Ambrose, give me a second here, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Ambrose Quick, I'm going to tell you that he is a businessman.
Okay. How about Ezekiel?
Ooh. Ezekiel. Ezekiel is... She is... bewitching.
Ooh. Tell me more.
About Ezekiel.
Yes.
So she's the youngest member who sits on the council. Um, she is seems to she seems to be taking care of the interests of the poorest people in Crossings on this council. She walks around wearing a homespun black dress, a pointed cap, and heavy boots. She looks just like you see on the image there. She's pale skin, very pretty, red hair, green eyes.
I'll choose connection to her.
Okay.
You think about.
All right. You could think about how you know her later, and then come
Okay.
back to me. Jerry, I'm gonna skip over David. David, are you still creating your character?
I think I have the. Yeah, I think I have the basics. One of the names I was going to choose is one of the names of your characters, so I might have to pick something else.
Don't tell me you picked Quarian Verge as the name
No.
of your.
No.
I would tell you to buy my lotto tickets.
I was going to name Arena, actually.
Oh.
Top center.
Oh, I see.
I rolled her. Well, if you want, I don't know any of the other characters for now because of all the tech issues.
Okay, so we have a human who is interested in the law and was a law student at one point. We have Nate's character is a human as well.
I rolled like a poacher, outsider, wilderness profession as a poacher.
Okay, so you're a poacher. So you're what, almost like a hunter who enjoys being out in the woods and praying to the old gods in the woods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have a goblin who wears the costume of a possum, almost like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Possum costume. A goblin child of 10 years old.
I would also like to add that the professions that I rolled are that I'm also a 10-year-old goblin child who is a street preacher that proclaims that doomsday is upon us, and I'm also a peasant conscript, so I'm like a dirt farmer. I'm like a dirt farmer, doomsday prepper, child raised by giant rats.
So
you know that archetype, right? I mean, everybody knows that one.
Yeah, I think there's someone with a reality show on TLC who probably matches that description. So, all right. So, David.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jerry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip over David real quick, and I'm gonna go to you.
Okay. I'm gonna roll d6. See how many of these people I know.
Yeah.
Four.
So, you know 3 people.
Okay. I will first inquire about. I get a one-word descriptor, right?
Yes, you do.
Quarian Verge.
Quarian Verge. So, Quarian Verge is a gossip.
Okay. What about Charybdis or Charybdis? I don't know how you pronounce that.
Charybdis.
Charybdis.
Charybdis is a best word would be. So what's the word when someone, and I'm breaking character here, but what's the word when someone's older than 100? Centenarian, is that it? A centenarian? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Charybdis is a centenarian.
You know, I'm really torn between the guy who looks like an obese Danny Trio and the old wizard dude, but I've got to go with Charybdis.
Charybdis. All right. So Charybdis lives in. Hold on, let me get to.
And I get to tell you what kind of connection we have, right?
You do.
After you give me.
You do.
Okay. Okay.
So Charybdis is an eccentric old wizard who lives in a tower called Wizard's Peak in the district of Perse. Wizard's Peak is a tower, and actually, it's a red shingled tower, a typical wizard's tower, but the whole thing is crooked. It's almost bent, almost like a question mark. And it's hovering less than an inch off the ground in a permanent hover.
Okay.
And he is an eccentric old man. The tower is crooked, like I said, as a hag's finger. And then it's not just floating off the ground, but it's got poles coming out of the side. And at night they light up with green fire, green magical fire that sets up this kind of nice light, this kind of nice lighting effect on the tower at night. He sort of keeps to himself. The lawn, the tower is floating on a foundation, right, like an inch off the ground, and it includes a lawn. And the lawn is really unkept. It looks like, crap. And a few people have the courage to confront him about the disheveled state of his tower and its grounds, because he's sort of he's kind of an erratic old man.
Okay.
He rarely leaves the tower, and when he does, he goes about wearing heavy red robes and his wide-brimmed red hat. Not a lot of people interact with him. He seems to have taken you're going to determine that, but clearly you guys have some sort of connection.
Right. So.
And that's in Perse, the richest district in the city of Crossings.
All right. Charybdis is my pusher. Like, he gets me tobacco and all the other shit that a 10-year-old goblin child wants to get his dirty little hands on.
Okay.
But, like, sometimes we just hang out and, like, eat pizza and watch Unsolved Mysteries and shit, Just, like, whatever.
This is sounding like an episode of Different Strokes. Where you're hanging out with the old man watching TV. All right. All right. Sounds good.
Like, my little goblin's got a smoking habit, and this is the only guy who'll hook me up with good pipe tobacco.
So you're like that fat 2-year-old back from, I don't remember what, Thailand or something, the kid that used to smoke cigarettes.
Yes.
Great. Okay, that's great. David, I can't stall any longer, man. Do you have your character made?
Yeah, I believe I do. I may need some guidance here.
All right, let's do it.
I went with dwarf.
Yay.
Female dwarf, around 40.
With a beard, I imagine?
Well, I rolled it, and it says it takes care of her facial hair, so
Yep.
I assume so.
Yep.
She's very, very well kept, very, very clean as far as dwarfs go. Can't stand orcs. Just hates them with a passion.
Okay.
And I rolled that she's a servant of the Dwarf King, but I'm not entirely sure what that means.
Well, you're going to have to figure that out. You're going to tell me.
Okay.
You don't have to tell me right now.
Well, as far as profession, I rolled her as a Martian patroller. So, as far as local militia go, or local law enforcement, I guess, kind of. She just patrols the streets, trying to keep order in this miserable world.
So there is an organization in the city of Crossings called the Brown Cloaks, and they are the law enforcement in the city. The Brown Cloaks have a base of operations here in the district of Coins. So if that's something that interests you. Or there is also a militia in the city, aside from the Brown Cloaks. The city maintains a small militia of 200 that protects against outside threats. They occupy the city's watchtowers, they guard the gates, and patrol the lands around Crossings. Most militia members come from the lower classes, since the meager pay is better than nothing and the work is relatively easy.
That works.
Okay.
Okay, let's do militia. Who's the leader of the militia? Do I know?
It might be you. You tell me.
I'm not the leader type.
Then it's a human male called Roth.
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 Okay. So yeah, I mean, I work with the militia, try to maintain order, just barely squeak by day-to-day life. You know,
Okay.
just try to get through from one day to the next.
All right. So why don't you give me a 1d6 and let's determine how many people you're connected to here.
Everybody. Okay.
So you got 4 connections.
Okay. Let's start with Commander Rena, because that was the name I was going to choose.
So Commander Rena is, she sits on the council, and she is co-commander or sub-commander of the militia.
Oh, good choice.
And she sits on the council. Actually, I didn't give you the one word. I messed up, but whatever.
It's all right. I would have chosen her anyway.
It makes sense that you're tied to her since you're in the militia, anyways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So her
commander seemed like a good guess.
Yeah. So her post on the city council ensures that Crossings keeps the Crusaders supplied in foodstuffs, arms, and clothing. Basically keeps the peace here and is trying to keep the empire together, doing her part to keep the empire together. Okay. Tori.
Tori's muted.
Tell me about Old Madge.
Old Madge. Pleasure.
Yes.
What is that?
I'll take it.
You'll take it. Old Madge runs a brothel. Old Madge runs a brothel called the Old Fishery. It's the most famous brothel in Crossings. In the district of Tankards. It's a 3-story building that mostly serves the fisher folk in town. Old Madge is a young woman of great beauty who runs the establishment. She does not, however, work the trade. And that's as far as you know about her.
I have in the past done odd jobs for the establishment, and that's how I know her.
Okay. Nate.
Okay, how about Farmer Ham?
Ooh, Farmer Ham. So, Farmer Ham is a drinker.
All right, tell me a little more.
So Farmer Ham runs one of the farms outside of town. Farmer Ham is, you know him, or you may know him because of a small forest known as Sentinel Wood. Covers the ruins of an ancient elf city in the Northern Reach, and there is a forgotten shrine near Farmer Ham's farm. So you probably know him from being so interested in the wilderness and being sort of an outdoorsman. You've come across him out in the wild. His farm stands out in the center of a field overgrown with high grass, almost at the edge of the Sentinel Wood.
All right. I'm going to say Farmer Ham and I...
He tends to have a drinking problem, and he's always complaining, and he's very paranoid.
Okay. I'm going to say that Hathar knows Farmer Ham. He's had quite a few run-ins with him, poaching his animals off his farm, his livestock. So their relationship has always been a little tense. Of
And
course,
he
he's always drunk, so he convinces them that I didn't really take that horse.
so the thing he's most famous for is his fine hogs that he keeps in the farms, and he's very protective of his hogs.
Okay, try to. My goal is to steal those hogs, trying to. But I'm sure the problem is he probably sells some of those to the city, so that the watch can be well fed. So I'm gonna, without, just gonna jump to my second connection and say, Commander Rena is another person I'm connected to because of my poaching on his farm. I've not always been on good terms with the commander.
All right, so you and David both know Commander Rena. So Dwarf and Nate may know each other or not. I'll let you guys decide that. You gave me already your second connection, so let's go to David. You ready
Yeah.
for your second connection?
Sure. Let's. We haven't tried Crowley yet.
Where are we?
The head of the Browncoats, John Crowley.
So Crawley, his
Crawley, sorry.
his one word description is lawman.
Okay, that seems appropriate. Sure.
And he, as you said, he is the head of the Brown Cloaks. John Crawley, he's been walking the streets of Crossings since he was old enough to scrap an old town. And he knows
Okay.
this city inside and out and loves it down to its last filthy cobblestone.
Okay, I'm guessing that the Brown Cloaks are like more of a dignified militia, I guess.
The Brown Cloaks are the
Brown Cloaks.
law enforcement in the city.
Okay.
They wear these drab brown cloaks as part of their uniform. There's only 90 members in the city, so they tend to focus on the wealthier citizens of Crossings, and
Okay.
they basically leave the poor to tend for themselves.
Well, I'm thinking that I was probably a Brown Cloak once, or at least tried to, and didn't take. They were just, I guess, too stuck up for my liking.
Okay.
So I knew him in terms of what he did as running the Brown Cloaks, and him and I didn't quite get along on occasions. So I promptly left the Brown Cloaks and just joined the regular old militia, where I seem much more at home.
Okay. Sounds good. Jerry, who else does your little goblin know?
Tell me about Elder Fob.
Elder Fob. Elder Fob's one word description would be absent-minded.
Sounds like my kind of dude. But first, what about Father Paulus?
Father Paulus. So, Father Paulus, give me a second. He sits on the council. His one word description would be let me see. It's a tricky one. Intellectual.
I'm torn here. Because he's obviously a preacher or a priest of some sort. I feel like that would go good with my doomsday obsession. But I think I've got to stick to a theme here and be connected to all the weird old dudes. So I'm going to go with Elder Fob.
Elder Fob. So Elder Fob represents the city's halfling population on the council. And he has sat on the council for 60 years. So he's been there a long time. He is short, wrinkled, huge belly, and he's got a really bad case of the gout. Uh, he tends to walk with a cane. It's a little cane because he's a halfling, so it's not a big cane, but it might be good enough for you, Goblin. And sometimes he tends to lose his train of conversations and starts talking before other people have finished. He's a bit of an absent-minded fellow. But that's who he is. He's kind of like a jolly, old fat man, fat halfling.
Okay.
He's always walking with a limp because of the gout. He's always complaining. He's always rubbing whenever he sits, he rubs his foot. He tries to rub his foot to calm down the pain. And then he starts talking and tends to wander off and forget what he was saying. His conversations tend to drift off in different directions.
Okay. I'm gonna say that we know each other just off of we're probably right at about the same conversational level, like he's old and not all there and I'm 10 and we're both short and gross and maybe we're just maybe we're drinking buddies, maybe he drinks me under the table.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. That works. Maybe you've run a few errands for him. Maybe he's tossed you a few silver pieces for to go buy him something, or who knows.
Yeah.
All right. He certainly knows who you are by sight. He knows your name and he knows who you are. All right. Who's next? Tori. How many do you have left?
I have 2 more.
Okay.
Sergeant Elise.
Ooh, Sergeant Elise. So Sergeant Elise, her one-word description is honorable.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me more.
Okay, so she is a brown cloak. She is a young woman in her 20s with thin brown hair, cut short, just like you see in the image there. And she is very much into her job, and she tries to work as hard as possible at it. She takes her duty seriously as a brown cloak, and she does care about the people she is sworn to protect. Whether they're rich or not, she doesn't care.
Childhood friend.
Childhood friend. Okay, that works. Nate.
Sorry, I was muted. How about... Have we done Quirion? No, we've just got his adjective, right? Quirion Verge.
It was gossip.
Right. How about Father Gregory?
Father Gregory. Father Gregory is... I'll tell you about Father Gregory right now. His one word would be let me see. Pious.
All right, give me more.
So you know that Father Gregory he maintains a small shrine connected to the new god, which you are not a follower of. He keeps this shrine in the poorest district of the city, Grievings. And he is known to be a true champion of the downtrodden.
Okay. All right. So I have 3 that I'm connected to.
Yeah.
So this is the way I'm going to go, wrapping it up for me. My connection to Father Ham is the poaching of the animals, which has got him onto Commander Rena's bad side. she's trying to supply the city with foodstuffs, and he must be a supplier. I'm sure he sells various livestock to the city or to uh, restaurants, things like that. So because of my poaching, that put me on the bad side of Commander Rena. I'm going to say I'm connected to Ezekiel. When we were younger, we had that romantic relationship that ended fine. She seems like she is she represents the poorer people. You said she appears in public with homespun black dress.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that we grew up knowing each other as teenagers, and then when she sort of took a career in politics, I went a different direction and did that sort of outsider wilderness role, and so we obviously couldn't be seen together. So the split was amicable; it was fine, but that bond is still there.
Okay.
And I use her to sometimes get out of trouble when law enforcement looks at me like I did something wrong.
You're talking about Ezekiel.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So you're done with your connections. David.
I don't know if we've done the Inquisitor Rendolphus.
Nope.
Okay, what's his word?
His word is. His word is. Hunter.
Yeah, sure, why not? We'll figure something out. Okay.
So he came to Crossings maybe 5 years ago, and he tends to keep to himself quite a bit. He is. How should I? Physically, I'm going to tell you what he looks like physically. He's in his 40s. He's got that long black hair and that little bit of facial hair. He wears black robes and a skull mask. He's. How should I. He's part of the cult of the new god. He seems to be a religious man. No one really knows much about him. You've seen him here or there, but he seems to be very. He tends to keep to himself. Doesn't draw too much attention to himself, and he always seems to be what you would describe as someone who's very observant.
Okay. I don't trust him at all. In my history of being law enforcement through militia or otherwise, is just something about him just doesn't really sit well for me. And I have my concerns that he's up to much worse things than are obviously apparent. I can't prove any of it, but he just doesn't sit right with me. We may have crossed in the past, as gotten close, had a few words, but nothing major, I'd say.
Okay.
And I have 4. If I could, I can get the 4th one out of the way with Old Madge.
Okay.
Let's say that I had relatives that were, how should we say, in the industry. And I have a personal sense that I need to protect their business, make sure that nothing bad happens to the people that work there. I have a sort of an informal connection to manage her business.
Okay.
So beyond that, that's it for me.
All right, Jerry.
I'm gonna go with Father Paulus. I think. I'm just gonna say that. Well, you go ahead and tell me about him first. Sorry, skipping ahead.
So Father Paulus, let me. So, I mean, I already described him a bit, right?
No, I think you gave me his one word, right?
Okay. So Father Paulus champions the cult of the new god on the council. He actually sits on the city council. Um, he gained his seat after his predecessor, Father Shankis, choked on a chicken bone and toppled over and died many years ago. Paulus is a gaunt man with a messy gray hair crowning his head. He wears those cracked spectacles, always sliding down his long pointed nose. He wears the black habit of his faith. He's a very smart man. That's why he was described as an intellectual. He's very bright. Always uses fancy sounding words that to your goblin ears are completely foreign. They might as well be a foreign language because even though they're in common tongue, you have no idea what he's saying because he sounds like a thesaurus sometimes. Not that your goblin would know what that is, but you, Jerry, would. Um, this guy is he peppers his speech trying to sound smarter than everybody else, but he doesn't do it out of malice. He does it out of, him generally thinking that he's just a smart man.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that for whatever reason, my character.
Now, sometimes, I'm sorry, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
It may seem to people, and this is something you've picked up on as you've observed him, that sometimes when he uses these big words, he himself may not even know what they mean based on the way some other people look at him when he speaks. So take whatever I just said about him with a grain of salt. About his
Okay.
intellect.
I'm gonna say that for whatever reason, my character's entire ideology of religion is mostly formed off of things that I've heard this guy say that I can even pick up on, right? So my doomsday prepper thing might be completely misguided based off of whatever I pick up from this guy, which also might be completely misguided. So it's basically random. But I always call him Gabe.
That's what you call him?
I call him Gabe all the time.
Gabe. Okay.
Because he kind of looks like Gabe Newell with the tiny little glasses.
All right. Tori, are you missing one more person? You're muted. You're still muted. There you go.
I know. Okay. Master Dreen.
Ooh, Master Dream. Um, Master Dream is elegant.
Tell me more.
Master Dreen, and you see him there in the picture. He's a striking man with dark skin, darker eyes, a smooth-shaved scalp, and a deep voice. He represents the merchants of crossings and the council. He wears always impeccably dressed in a fine suit in the imperial style. And he's always got a slender rapier hanging from his jeweled belt. He's always close to the mayor when out with, in official events and stuff like that. Him and the mayor seem to have a close relationship.
Um, I don't know how jiggy with it can I get. How can
You tell me. You could get as jiggy as you want.
I stole some papers that implicate him in crimes,
Oh. Okay. Very good.
in financial crimes?
Financial crimes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Do you know him, or not really?
I know who he is,
But
but
you
he
don't.
doesn't know
He
me.
doesn't know you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who is missing a connection? Are we done with the connections?
I'm missing one connection. It's somebody that I had, which was Rena,
Uh huh.
and I decided we used to date.
Commander Rena and you used to date.
No, Rena Frent.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Rena
Oh.
Frent.
Oh, the engineer. Got it. Okay. Sounds good. So hold on, because I wasn't writing these down. Let me do that right now. So Tori, your connections are Rena Frent,
Mm-hmm.
Master Dream,
Mm-hmm.
and who else?
Old Madge,
Old Madge.
who sometimes employs me for random stuff she needs
Right.
done,
And there
and
was one more.
Sergeant Elise, my childhood friend.
Okay. David, are you done with your connections?
Yeah.
And okay, so let's go over them real quick. It was
I have Commander Rena, which is, I guess, my current boss. John Crawley as my former boss.
uh-huh.
Randolphus as just a guy that creeps me out.
Mm-hmm.
And Old Madge as just somebody I try to keep an eye on in a good way.
Got it. And Jerry, you have Charybdis. You
Yes.
have Elder Fob,
Mm-hmm.
and you have Father Paulus.
That is correct.
Okay. Great. So we've gotten through that. And I think we are ready to actually begin. Let me look at the time. It's 11:10. Can you guys still hang for some more time? What are we looking at?
I got all the time in the world.
Do we take it to midnight?
I can take it till midnight. No school tomorrow.
Tori? Yeah? Okay. Alright, so let's do this.
Oh, I forgot my interesting thing earlier.
Okay, what's
So
that?
I rolled, and my interesting thing is a pan flute. I don't know how I will put that to use, but I think everyone should know that I have
You're the bard.
it.
My interesting thing was a box of 7 nails.
I have
And
a
I
bag
roll-
of marbles.
What was that?
A bag of marbles.
Well, I rolled a pair of boots that grant me 1 boon on rolls to sneak. So I got some really nice boots.
Listen, there is something in there's a book called The Demon Lord's Companion that includes some extra rules that aren't in the rule book. One of those rules is something called, hold on. Story complications. There are complications that you can have, that your character can have, kind of like
My sound doesn't work.
they reflect an event of lasting consequence that occurred in your character's background. If we play with these, they they give you both benefit and a put you at a disadvantage. We don't have to play with them, but I think they might make for more interesting characters. I can give you a list of the complications, and then we could explore if we want to take those or not. Jerry, have you had experience playing with complications?
I have not played with complications.
So I'm going to give you guys the list, and I'll give you an example of what one of them does. So we have addicted, cursed, doomed, haunted, mad, maimed, plagued, and possessed. And I'll give you the addicted one. It says your addiction has power over you to the point that you must feed it to survive. The GM decides what you are addicted to, choosing something that costs you no more than a copper piece per day to maintain, either booze, a common drug, or tobacco. Addicted. When you complete a rest without having fed your addiction at least once during the previous day, you must get a success on a strength challenge roll with 1 bane plus 1 bane for each day you have gone without the first, or become fatigued. If you're already fatigued this way, increase the number of banes from being fatigued by 1. After 5 consecutive successes, you lose this story complication. It grants you a surge of confidence. When you feed your addiction, remove the fatigue condition, and you, for a minute, make attack rolls and challenge rolls with 1 boon. You can benefit from surge of confidence only once per hour. So they give you a bit of a, they give you a drawback, and they give you an advantage for certain things.
I'd do it.
If you guys are interested in any of these, we could certainly introduce them.
Is it all or nothing? Do we all have to do it, or
I don't think so.
can you read the brief words?
Yeah, so that was addicted. Cursed.
Right.
You bear a curse that prevents you from performing a certain activity as chosen by the GM. The curse cannot be anything that would directly harm you, your property, or your loved ones. Examples include sex, drinking alcohol, or eating meat. Especially you who likes to poach. Cursed. When you perform a task that violates your curse, you must get a success on a will challenge roll with 3 banes, or take damage equal to your healing rate and become stunned for 1d3 minutes. Violating your curse can affect you only once each hour. Fate it to live. When you make your fate roll, that's when you die. When you make your fate roll, roll an extra d6 and use the highest number you roll. So they give you little benefits.
Yeah.
There's the doomed one.
Yeah.
Death dogs your steps, hounding you until you find the grave. You see omens of your doom regularly, so you keep moving, hoping your time has yet to run out.
Oh, I like that.
I
like the sound of that. What's the next one?
The next one is haunted. A spirit haunts you, following you wherever you go and making it impossible for you to live a normal life. The spirit reveals its displeasure by breaking or stealing small objects, causing temperatures to plunge, knocking on walls, shrieking, or equally frightening acts.
Oh, this is okay. I'm taking that. This is why I can't live in the city.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Okay. I don't know what the benefits or drawbacks are, but I like the story feature.
I'm going to give them to you right now.
Okay.
So, haunted. Whenever the total of your attack roll or challenge roll is 0 or less, the spirit haunting you grows angry. Each creature within short range of you must get a success on a will challenge roll or become frightened for 1 round. That may explain why you've chosen a life out in the wilderness. To be away from people because your spirit scares them.
Yeah.
Your benefit is inured to fear. When resisting the effects of the frightening or horrifying traits, you make will challenge rolls with 1 boon. And there's a nice little story thing that can tie to your character there nicely based on your background. Do you guys want me to keep reading the other ones? Are you guys interested in these sort of things, or?
I have it, so I'm reading through it myself.
Okay. Well, there's Mad. A traumatic event left you unhinged. The GM gives you 1 quirk that reflects your unstable personality. Mad. Your insanity total starts at a number equal to half your will and can never go below this number. Moment of clarity. When you make an attack roll or challenge roll, you can choose to make the roll with 1 boon. If you fail, you gain 1d3 insanity. Now, insanity is a mechanic in the game that you earn as certain things happen in the game. Or you can earn if certain things happen in the game. Maimed. A grievous injury left you terribly scarred. This maiming makes life difficult, but it gives you the will to persevere. Maimed. The GM applies one permanent penalty to you, chosen from the following: -4 to perception, -2 to speed, or a penalty to health equal to your group level. Will to live. When you would become incapacitated, you can use a triggered action to roll a d6. On a 6, you heal 1 damage. There is plagued. You carry an incurable disease that might one day kill you. Plagued. You are diseased, but you do not make rolls with 1 bane as a result. Instead, whenever you heal half as much as you should. That's nasty. Infectious touch. When you touch a living creature, the creature must get a success on a strength challenge roll or become diseased for 1 minute. If the roll is 0 or less, the creature gains the plagued story complication. And then the last one is possessed. An evil presence lurks inside you, haunting your dreams and goading you to commit horrific acts of evil. The presence has become a cancer to your soul, but you fight it every day, searching for a way to rid yourself of its darkness. You have 1d3 corruption. When you go mad, you gain 1 corruption. You then become compelled by the demon instead of the normal effects of madness. At the end of each round, roll a d6. On a 6, the madness ends. Inner darkness. You can speak the dark speech, and you never gain insanity from a demon's horrifying trait. In addition, each point of corruption you gain during play grants you 1 boon to attack rolls and challenge rolls until you complete a rest. So those are the story complications that the game offers. You could choose one or not. It's up to you.
Enrique, I'm gonna take addicted.
Addicted. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you do smoke tobacco.
Yeah, just to go with the whole tobacco thing. So I'm a 10-year-old goblin with a smoking habit.
Okay. Again, you're that little kid from Thailand or whatever the hell that was. That fat toddler that was smoking. All right, so you want me to read Addicted again, just so you?
No. I've got Demon Lord's Companion up in front of me.
All right, great. So that's that.
I'm gonna go Doomed. It
Doomed.
just seems appropriate.
Okay. Well, you do put that on Facebook a lot. You don't need me to read it, right? I'll read it for the benefit of the other players, and I'll read it for the benefit of the other players and the people in the chat or people watching the stream. Doomed. Death dogs your steps, hounding you until you find the grave. You see omens of your doom regularly, so you keep moving, hoping your time has yet to run out. After you complete a rest, roll a d6. On a 1, you see an omen of doom. If you do, you make attack rolls and challenge rolls with 1 bane until you complete a rest. While under the effects of the doom trait, whenever you gain an affliction, you can use a triggered action to remove it. That actually goes almost with that dwarven, the stereotypical sort of dwarven constitution thing that you're kind of healthy.
Yeah. I'll make it work.
Okay. So, now we begin the campaign called Tales of the Demon Lord, set in the city of Crossings and its surroundings. There are people disappearing in the city of Crossings. Over the past few nights, people have gone missing. These people are no one special, just regular folks from Crossings who you've heard the word spread around town and around the city that at night people are going missing. You've also heard that the brown cloaks are sort of on the case, but not really. But people are walking around with fear. Not fear of what's happening to these people, but fear that they may be next. And no one is around to care that this is happening. there seems to be no discrimination on these people that have gone missing. The people of the this is mostly happening in the district of Grievings in the city. And like I said, Grievings is the poorest and most densely populated district in the city. So the city's most vulnerable people are the ones that seem to be suffering the most right now with these disappearances. You've all heard the stories, you've all heard the rumors, and you've all heard someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who has some sort of connection to these people that have disappeared. The brown cloaks, like I said, are on it. Specifically, Sergeant Elise. Now, you guys, as a group, haven't determined if you know each other or not, and whether any of your connections connect you to each other. Some of you have connections that would connect you to each other. I think we need to decide as a group if you guys want to start with a connection to each other or not. It's really up to you. I'm not going to force a connection if it isn't there.
I'm going to assume that as law enforcement, I've more or less pretty much heard of everybody else to some degree.
As a law enforcement, you've also heard rumblings, David, that the Brown Cloaks and the council itself has ordered the investigations into these disappearances to stop.
Whoa.
Yeah, but the Brown Cloaks are bureaucratic, and if you want to get something done, you have to get the militia to do it. They'll spin their wheels for weeks at this rate. I don't know any of the characters' names.
We should put them in the window.
I don't know how to do that.
No, I think each person has to do that on their own. If you go to the sprocket where it says display name under my settings.
Got it.
Oh yeah.
It's not really? Okay, we can go work with that.
This has been going on for the past week, by the way.
Okay.
Let's do something real quick. I went over the districts of the city. Can you guys at least tell me what district you're each from?
I'm gonna be from grievances,
Okay.
not because it's the basis of this.
Can
I
you
feel like it's the poorest district.
Yeah.
can you pull that screen back up for us?
I'm sorry, yes. Let me do that. So, let me point out, the Brown Cloaks headquarters is this big building here in the middle of the city. That Wizard's Tower I told you about, Snot?
We don't see that yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, I didn't move you over. My bad. So this Wizard's Tower here, that's the one I was telling you about, where that wizard, where
11.
yeah. See how it's all
Yeah,
crooked?
we'll say that I'm not necessarily from Wizard's Peak because I'm probably originally from wherever the dirtiest, like if there's like a canal or a sewer district, wherever the giant rats are that I was raised by.
So Grievings is the poorest district. There's also where there's river here. There's a Stream of Tears River sort of flows through over here. It's right next to Smokestacks, which is another crappy district.
We'll say that I'm from Grievings, but I spend more time than I should in Wizard's Peak, and most of that time is probably entering and then getting kicked out because I'm
So Wizard's Peak is the actual tower. The district is called Purse, which is the richest district in the city.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to spend time in the Purse district
Okay.
playing my pan flute and talking about the end of the world to whoever will listen.
And Talia.
Um,
Is it
I
Talia,
grew,
Talia,
Talia.
Talia, Talia?
I grew up in Coins, but lately I've been living in Smokestacks.
Ooh, Smokestacks. Okay. Well, Smokestacks is very close to Grievings, um, and like I said, it takes about an hour to cross from one district to the other. So you've all heard over the past week these stories of these disappearances late at night, but now now it's gone one step further. It seems that Father Gregory, whom I described to you as a champion of the downtrodden, decided to take matters into his own hands and went looking for these missing people, and no one has seen him since. So now he's missing as well. The Sergeant Elise is investigating these disappearances, and she's been ordered to step back. You guys have heard this because there are rumblings of this. There's a rundown tap room in Grievings where it's kind of a well-known shitty bar in Grievings, for lack of a better word, and the that's where the tongues wag in town, and that's where you hear some of these rumors, and you've learned some of these things. But really, there's this uneasy, there's this, you could sort of cut the tension with a knife at night in the city because people are really scared of, will I be next? And it's frustrating because no one seems to be doing much about it.
Can I approach Sergeant Elise and ask her why she stepped back from investigating?
She can meet with you at night. She will not meet with you during the day.
Okay.
So,
I would like to, if it's possible for me to reach out to Ezekiel, sort of ask the same question. Since she represents these people, why is the council not taking better action, stronger action?
Okay, so Sergeant Elise meets with you at night, and she basically says that the council feels it's a waste of time for the Brown Cloaks to be devoting their energy on the poor of Crossings because no one's going to miss them anyways.
Does she say this matter of factly, or is she upset?
She says this with a huge amount of regret in her voice. And actually, she is still currently trying to investigate these disappearances behind the back of her employers. Nate, Hather, you learn that certain factions in the council are pushing this. Not everybody feels the same way, but unfortunately, it is what it is at this point. People die in crossings all the time was a phrase that was thrown out at one point to her. That there's nothing different about these deaths that there are about others.
I'm
but
gonna.
but the brown cloaks, certainly Sergeant Elise does not feel the same way. These are not just random deaths. People have disappeared, and uh, and the fact that Father Gregory has now disappeared is is very strange.
Um, if,
Um,
if,
Talia, you do learn that these people that have disappeared, they are all drunkards and petty criminals and people who really probably wouldn't be missed, but they are people and they do deserve better than this, and that's why she is investigating.
I ask Elise if she's willing to share what she knows, so that if the investigation is shut down, it can continue off the books.
Um, yes, she will share that with you. Give me a second. Haydar, you were gonna say something. Was it David?
No.
David, you're muted.
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry. I was gonna try to reach out to Commander Rena, she's on the council, but not, I guess, directly linked with the Brown Cloaks, to suggest that, well, if the Brown Cloaks aren't going to do this, is local militia going to take any action?
So, the local militia, you are told, is here to protect the interests of a larger cause than a few missing drunkards. So no, we will not be wasting our time with that. The Empire is burning, and you're worried about 4 or 5 missing drunks in the poorest district in the city?
They are people.
Yes, you should probably reconsider your priorities.
Okay.
Poor drunk people. Jeez.
Do we know where Gregory was last seen?
Are you investigating at this point?
Sure. Let's.
Snot.
Yes.
Through
Go ahead.
your what's the word I'm looking for? Through
Crazy
your,
old guys.
through your connections to these old men,
Go on.
through your connection to these old men, Father Paulus has heard about what happened to Father Gregory, and he seems distraught about it. And he was one of the ones fighting for the Brown Cloaks to do something about it, but he can't seem to make it happen. He's not telling you this directly, obviously, because you're just a goofy little goblin who. But you've heard him use big words and long sentences, talking about the injustices of the people of Grievings,
Okay.
and how for too long they've been ignored by the people in power. And this is yet another example of that. You have no idea what any of that means, but that's what you've heard.
I don't have any idea what any of it means, but I've spent enough time around him to maybe pick up on some of his mannerisms. Can I tell if I think that he's putting on a show about, his concern, or if it's genuine?
No, you think it's genuine.
Okay. So I'm gonna consult Father Paulus and just kind of ask him, like, well, where would you start? Like, if you're worried about these people, where do you think I should go digging?
Well, if I were you, young little goblin, I would probably head to the District of Grievings. And there, I would find a temple to the new god. I would kneel down in prayer. Do you have knees, little goblin? Yes, you do. I would kneel down in prayer and pray to the new god for the souls of these missing individuals. Do you know what an individual is? It's one unique person. And all these people are unique, and they've been uniquely attacked, little goblin. uniquely separated from their loved ones and the world itself. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? Because I do not. I would go to Grievings and I would find out what's happening there. I don't expect you, a child goblin, to do any of that dirty work. And I would not expect you to go to Grievings and maybe perhaps even be picked up and disappeared like these people. So perhaps you should just stay here by my side and go fetch me my loafers.
I'm like, yeah, I'll go fetch you your loafers, guy, and then I just leave. I can go to Grievings. That's
Come back.
like my home turf. I'm there. I'm gone. I'm leaving.
Ugh, that goblin. Talia. She is willing to meet you late at night in a place in Grievings where everybody knows your name. A shitty rundown place called the Fallen Soldier. Anyone who has ever been to Grievings knows that this rundown tap room, situated between a burned down tenement and a brothel, is the place to be on a Saturday night. If you want to smell piss and vomit.
Oh, I'm totally
Who
there.
doesn't?
If you're not into smelly piss and vomit and being gazed upon by drunken eyes, then don't go into the Fallen Soldier. Otherwise, welcome. She wants to meet you there if you're really interested in talking about this.
Yeah, I meet her there.
And she shares with you that the reason she wants to meet you here is because everyone who has disappeared was a regular here. And there's a train passing by somewhere. And she is concentrating her investigations into the disappearances here, because this is the one thing all the places have in common, all the individuals have in common. They were all regulars here. The man who runs this establishment is a portly man with shaggy black hair and a sweep of blisters on the back of his neck called Quarian Verge. He is a loudmouth bartender, owns the place. He's always running his mouth, and he's a bit of a gossip.
Have you questioned him?
Yes, yeah, she's questioned him plenty of times. He's got nothing to offer but dirty looks and a tongue that is not quite as sharp as he thinks it is. He's got some information, but none of it has. The people who have disappeared.
Were they seen leaving the bar?
Yes. Yes. There's a few things you should know. Asa Min was an aging, down-on-her-luck prostitute with a reputation for being a drunk. She was one of the first ones that disappeared. Old Pete, a paraplegic who lived in an alley behind a fallen soldier, disappeared. Trout, a young pickpocket orphan, disappeared. And these are people who span all ages, from young adults to old people to... there was Enid, a fortune teller. Tyrus, an ex-soldier. Vern, a blind beggar with a filthy mouth. And of course, Father Gregory, who we all are very worried about. She tells you that a strange man wearing a hooded cloak has been seen skulking through the alleys of Grievings, always running off when approached. A few people have seen him. Before Tyrus went missing, The half-mad soldier claimed he saw the boy Trout snatched by an odd man wearing a hooded cloak as well. David, you have heard stories of two men dressed far too finely for grievings and obscuring their faces with pomanders. They were in the Fallen Soldier maybe a few nights ago, talking to some local people about a place called the Old Moorhouse. Everyone in the district knows about the Old Moorhouse. It belonged to an infamous demonologist, and it's been abandoned for decades.
Okay.
And Snot, as you were talking to the father, he happened to mention that everyone seemed to really like Father Gregory, even if he did try to get people to moderate their booze. He seemed to be a bit of a killjoy in that regard.
So I probably spent a fair amount of time around the Fallen Soldier, being that I'm from Grievings.
Oh, you know the Fallen Soldier quite well. Everybody knows it. It's not a obscure place. It's just a shitty place.
Okay.
And I'm a dwarf. This is precisely my kind of place.
Haydar, what business does a man of your interests out in the woods have in Grievings or in the city of Crossings itself? You do.
I would say,
I mean, you would have to come in here for supplies and such.
right, yeah. He was born in Grievings, so spent most of his, young adulthood there. Well, he's only 24, so teenage years there. Whenever he experienced this initial haunting, perhaps it was near that demonologist's place. Whenever he experienced that hauntings, he sort of separated himself out from the town, but does still, when he gets desperate for supplies, makes his way back into town, trying to avoid people as much as he can, but inevitably he has to be there to supply up.
All right, so let me tell you guys a little bit about Grieving, since we're going to be spending some time here, and you guys have all decided. Some of you have decided you're from here, and some of you are visiting. Grievings is the poorest and also the most densely populated district in Crossings. It's positioned above the tankards and below smokestacks on the eastern slopes of the city. It is a tangled, crowded place of tall row houses and narrow streets, made narrower by the tents and shacks lining them. So that should give you a great image of how poor this place is. These are the slums of Crossings, basically. Grievings is a desperate, dangerous district whose people mostly work as servants and coins, the district of coins. They toil in smokestacks and labor anywhere else they can find work in the city. Although the district is infested with vermin and riddled with disease, Grievings people are proud and independent. They look after each other and met out their own brand of justice to those who cross them. So you could almost imagine how these people in this district are dealing with these disappearances. They don't like it. They don't like the fact that the larger authority is ignoring them and leaving them to fend for themselves. Grievings is in a shitty spot right now. They really feel like they're being ignored, and they're not going to take this. They don't want their own people suffering like this. Whether you come from the streets or whether you're a drunk or whether you're a prostitute, to everyone in Grievings, you matter. As if you were the rich folk from coins, from purse, or from the council or even the mayor's office. You know better or worse than anyone else. So that's kind of the attitude that the people are taking here about what's happening.
And I'm gonna connect my to Hathar to Old Pete as a reason why he's interested in what's happening, since by nature care at all. So I want to give him a reason to care. Not necessarily that there's anything about old Pete. I'll just say that he knew him as he was growing up in the district.
All right, hold on. All right, so you guys have a bit of information here. Father Gregory kept a small shrine in the district. It's kind of where he lived. And then these rumors that you heard. Someone's giving me feedback there. Who is it? I'm hearing myself.
It's Nate's echoing.
That's me.
Oh, okay.
I'll mute.
So old Pete, poor old Pete, the paraplegic, he you saw him a few times when you would walk over down the streets of the district, and every now and then you may have tossed him a copper penny or so. He never asked. He wasn't much of a beggar. He was too proud for that. But he needed the money and he needed the help, so maybe you helped him out that way or something. So you guys had some sort of connection. And he's unfortunately one of these people who hasn't been seen since. The thing with the guys dressed far too finely for grievings, that did raise a bit of a kind of piqued your interest there, Sarah.
Oh yeah. Do I have any sense as to where they were heading, or they were just seen, and that's pretty much all we know?
No, you know that they've been in this tavern asking about the Morehouse.
Okay. So all roads seem to point to the Morehouse.
Yeah, I think we should go there.
Have we figured out how we all know each other?
You guys are probably
Maybe we all just knew each other.
I can guess that I pretty much know all of you
I mean, there's
through infamy.
there's a few options to getting this group together. You guys, first of all, you guys are probably the least drunk individuals at the Fallen Soldier at any given
I don't know
time.
about that. Challenge accepted there.
During work,
I mean,
during working
if
hours.
we've all been in the Fallen Soldier together at the same time, maybe like I don't know, maybe like we were all there on a night when something big happened, like a brawl or some other kind of like weird event, and we have some weird connection that we were all in the same place at the same time.
So let's do this. You guys all happen to be at the Fallen Soldier for your own individual reasons. Talia's there talking to the sergeant. Hader's there sort of trying to figure out what happened to old Pete. Sarah, you're there because you're as a militia member. You feel you have to be, even if your militia isn't exactly interested in any of this, and they don't expect you to be. And Snot, you heard about Father Gregory from Father Paulus, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as you guys are in here, a woman runs in, screaming, crying, almost shaking and inconsolable, and she's screaming about her child who has gone missing. Hasn't been home in 10 hours. And look at the time it is at night. And my child is nowhere to be found, and they would have been home by now. Somebody, please help me. I think my child's gone like the others. She had
Where
sent.
did you see him last?
Well, she sent the child out to beg, like she normally does, out to another district in the city. and the child never came back.
How
And
old is the child?
And it's far too late now. The child, he would have been home by now. He would have been home. He's only 7.
Okay.
Please.
This is
What's the child's
some
name?
bad parenting.
She's begging Sergeant Elise to help. I know you're looking into these. Please tell me my child hasn't disappeared. Please tell me it's not my child. And Sergeant Elise obviously has no idea who this woman is. She's telling her to calm down. She's telling her to relax. That she's sure the child is probably on her way home or on his way home. Please calm down. Where was the child? The child. She explains that the child was in the coins district, begging as is normal. She sends the child in the morning to go beg, and the child returns after a few hours of work. This lady works in smokestacks, cleaning cleaning chimneys, and the child's been gone for 10 hours.
Where do they normally beg?
In coins, near the guild house.
Have you gone to look for them?
Yes, of course I have. No one's seen them. No one knows who they are. They don't. No. Yes, I've been there.
As far as in relation to the Moore House, is in the same general direction.
The guild house?
The Moore House, the old Moore House.
Oh, the old Moore House is inside of Grievings. It's in the most rundown part of the city.
Okay.
The most rundown part of the district.
Okay.
But the kid went missing in the Purse district.
Coins.
Well, the kid was begging in coins.
Oh. Oh,
But you don't know.
coins.
But she doesn't know if the kid ever even got there. I mean, the kid left the house, and that's the last she saw of him.
What's the kid's name again?
Him or her?
Val.
You think Snot knows him because we're in the same age group? Maybe we played hopscotch together.
Val is part of a group of kids from Grievings whose parents sent them off to beg. They tend to cluster around together in different districts, begging people for money. You have certainly seen these kids in all sorts of different parts of the city.
Okay.
You may have come across Val. Sure. You know what? You know Val.
So here's my question.
You've certainly heard the name.
If they kind of go, begging for money in groups, was he with his group or was he flying solo tonight?
So the way it would normally work is the kid would leave the house and eventually get together with his buddies and sort of beg together. It's not like trick or treating where they all left at the same time.
Can we ask the other kids if they've seen Val or if they have any information?
Sure, you would probably have to go to coins to. Doesn't mean that all the kids come from this area.
I'm up for going and taking a look.
Let me go outside and try to find a little beggar kid.
When the mom went to look, she said she went to coins. Did she run into any of the kids?
Yeah, she asked some of the kids. They all sort of split up for the day and each one went their own direction. But
He was with them?
Yes, he was. But this is something that is a normal, everyday thing. This isn't, he goes to beg and he comes home and it's not a strange thing.
The kids could confirm though that he made it to coins.
Oh yes.
Okay. Well, I take it Elise is not going to do anything about this.
Oh no, she's certainly going to investigate. I mean, she's not going to tell the lady, I suspect your kid is gone forever, because that would be highly irresponsible of her. but she would be remiss if she didn't um, investigate this further.
Okay.
I'm gonna go try to find a beggar kid out on the street
Okay.
in Grievings.
Okay.
So after they've come back home from wherever they begged during the day.
Sure. And they're not hard to spot. You find some.
I hold up 2 bits and I ask them if they can tell me anything about what happened to Vel.
Give me a intellect challenge roll with one boon because you're holding up 2 coins.
Okay, help me out here.
So an intellect challenge roll, you basically roll a d20. You
Okay.
add your intellect modifier, and then the boon is a additional d6 you add to your roll.
$16.
Okay, so the way challenge rolls work in Shadow of the Demon Lord, you need to roll a 10 or higher to succeed. In this case, you were rolling against one of the traits of the kid, because the kid is a little scared. And the kid does tell you that he saw him.
What happened?
He I think he was taken. He was taken by someone who wrapped his someone in a cloak.
You saw it?
I think I
Where?
in an alley. I don't. The, the person had they were bandaged. I saw like I think they were wearing glasses. The kid runs. He runs away.
The dude in the cloak is the one that's been seen going in and out of the old necromancer's house, right?
Yeah.
I go back to the old soldier, and if Sergeant Elise is still there, I tell her what I learned.
So Sergeant Elise at this point is asking for your help. The brown cloaks aren't interested in this. The brown cloaks aren't going to help me. Perhaps you can help me. You seem to have done some of the legwork already.
Is everyone else also here?
Yeah, we could say that they are. Overhearing what's happening. Everyone else in here is too drunk to.
Has anyone seen a cloaked and bandaged mysterious figure?
You're asking this out loud?
Yeah.
No.
Such tact.
Everyone here is too drunk to even.
Well, the ones that aren't drunk.
Well, that would be.
The 4 of us, basically.
I'm wondering if any of you have any information.
If I recall, I asked Rena. She mentioned cloaks. She didn't mention bandages. I don't know if it's related. The little information that we have seems to point to this old Morehouse place.
Right.
Although, for this one missing child, there doesn't seem to be anything specific pointing.
Let's
Toward
go
there.
and take a look and see
Yeah.
what the house looks like.
The One of the drunks overhears you and turns and says,
If you don't find the missing boy, please make sure to find Father Gregory. He was a good man and he owes me a silver piece. I want you to find
guessing
him
it's-
for my silver piece more than for him being a good man.
I'm guessing a silver piece is a lot of money in this world.
That's a lot of money for me, friend.
Uh,
I already,
I think-
I already went to his damn shrine and he wasn't there, and well, I wasn't just gonna walk in there and take his things. But if you find him, bring me my silver piece. I beg of you, dwarf.
right.
Nice beard.
Thanks. we'll look into it.
And you, little goblin, you should be home with mother.
I just look at him, and I take a long drag off my cigarette, and I say, "My mom's dead."
Well,
Actually, no. I say my mother was a rat.
well, then this one's for her.
and he chugs his drink and says,
I'll take another one, Verge.
Sounds like we should definitely go check out, even if we just stake out near this Morehouse to see if we catch sight of this guy, if he's been seen going in and out.
It's worth a shot. We got nothing else to go on.
Right.
Let's go.
For it.
So where is this place? In Grievings, right?
it is in the most rundown part of Grievings.
Mm.
It stands as a two-story. Hold on. I think I. Hold on a sec.
Just so you know, it's midnight now. I don't know how much longer you want to go.
Yeah, I know. Morehouse stands in the most rundown part of Grievings. It's a two-story building of stone with a partly collapsed peaked roof. Dead grass chokes the small yard out front, and boards cover the house's windows and front door. You guys, as you're making your way closer to the house, two men with their weapons drawn step out of the darkness.
You four, you best be out on your way. There's nothing for you here. Go on. Go on.
Who are you?
Who are you? Go on. I'm the guy holding the weapon. Go on your way. There's nothing for you here, lady. And you, and that goblin. Go on your way. Dwarf.
How close are we to the Morehouse when this happens?
You're still maybe a ways off. You're still maybe about 60, 70 feet away.
What time of day is it?
It's nighttime.
So
It's always nighttime. And
I'm used to these shitlords. So as
You
this
are.
guy is starting to make his threats, Snot is already preemptively looking for a good spot to kind of tuck himself away in and hide and line up a shot with his sling.
okay.
I'm just holding. I'm just ready. I'm not actually going to attack until if I need to.
Okay.
And I'll step forward. I'm assuming that does the militia have a uniform of sorts, or just
Kind of an unofficial official uniform, yes.
okay? Well, I'm donning that.
Okay.
time.
And this
So
is a stupid question, but we don't have weapons. We don't start with weapons, right?
So
we should
you
in your
should,
starting
yes.
equipment or your wealth tells you what you start with.
Yeah, you would have some sort of weapon.
I have a club. Okay.
I have a staff and a dagger.
And speaking of weapons, these guys are holding very long knives.
Staff.
Okay.
And
So
they're-
I'm stepping forward in the semi-typical, law enforcement, one hand palm out, saying, "This is militia business. We don't want any trouble. We're just investigating."
give me an intellect challenge roll,
Uh,
Sarah.
okay. I don't know what modifier that has.
Your intellect minus 10. What's your intellect?
I think I'm a flat 10. So
Then you have a 0 modifier.
dead on. Does is it 10 or more?
Not in this case. You're
Okay.
you're rolling against them. It's a challenge
Hmm.
roll. The other guy steps forward, pulls out his knife, and says,
Militia business? Do you think we're stupid? What damn business is the militia having grievings? You heard my partner here. Get out of here. Next time we speak to you is gonna be with the sharp end of our knives. You're in our business. There's nothing for you here in the Moore house.
What do they
Anybody
have
else
for
wanna step
weapons?
in?
they have long knives.
Okay.
Enrique,
many
do
other-
you want me to roll
just
to
two?
see if
Just
I'm
two?
successfully hidden?
There's 2 of them.
Okay.
Roll your agility.
Okay, because I'm a goblin, I get a boon to doing this.
Okay.
Oh, boo. I thought I made a macro. Okay, hang on.
Look, we're going to end up fighting these people anyway. I'm going to smack one of them in the head with my staff.
Okay, hold on.
This is going to happen. It might as well happen.
So what did you roll,
11.
Jerry? 11? So yes, you're successfully hidden.
Okay.
And I'm like, still with one hand palm out. I'm like, gentlemen, you really don't want to do this.
Talia,
Yeah.
are you going to...
The one that's closest to me, yeah, I'm going to hit him.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
I'll be completely oblivious to this. I'm still trying to maintain control. She just smacks him and
Okay.
all right.
All right, so roll your attack.
How do you?
Where the hell my pencil go? I'm running a game online, but I'm counting on pencil and paper. What the hell's my... Yeah, I'm old school like that. What do I want to tell you?
Oh shit, I didn't realize I had a Roll20 character sheet. I filled out a form-fillable PDF in another window.
Where is the character sheet?
It's right here on the...
The journal symbol in the top right.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we gotta go ahead and assign tokens later and stuff like that. Talia, what did you roll?
Oh, that's much better.
You don't see it there?
Oh yeah, 18 versus defense. All right, so you hit him with your staff. You basically sucker punch him with the staff as he's on his speech there. What the hell do you think you're doing here? And you just basically pop him, pa! And he takes a few steps back, obviously surprised that he just took a staff to the face. And clearly, he didn't like that. Does anyone else want to take an action in the fast turn?
I want to take an action because I was basically aiming, and I want to try and I'm gonna try and hit the other guy and kind of catch him off guard. He sees his buddy get sucker punched, so I want to try and kind of see if I can crack him in the head with a rock with my sling before he really has a time to try and shank the dwarf.
Okay.
I don't have any fancy macros for attacks yet, though. But so D20 plus 3 because my agility is 13, and then yeah.
So that hits. So basically, the little goblin, you shoot your thing from the shadows, basically revealing yourself at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm gonna.
it's a direct hit. You pop the other one right between the eyes, and you hear him curse. Damn! The fuck was that?
I'm gonna also hit the same one that Talia hit with the staff. I'll hit, take a shot at him with my incredible staff here.
Okay, so Jerry, how much damage did you do?
Just it's 1d3, so let me roll. 2.
Okay. Okay, hey there. So you're gonna hit yours with. What are you carrying?
Staff.
Okay, so this assumes that you guys were basically engaged with these guys, like up close to melee range, because in the fast turn in this game, in the fast turn you could basically only do one thing, attack or move. So if you're able to hit, that means you were up, in their faces basically. Or when they came out to stop you, they basically approached you and they're at arm's length of you. All right, so hit it. Okay, so you rolled a 20. You did 2 damage, and that is a hit as well. Another staff hit to the face for this guy, and now this guy is obviously getting very pissed off. Sarah, you doing anything? You're muted.
Sorry about that. Trying to put together my character sheet. Well, I was trying to be diplomatic, but
Clearly didn't work.
yeah. So two of them.
No, wait, hold on. You can still try to be diplomatic. No one said you can't try.
Have they both been injured, or just one of them?
One of them took 2 staff hits to the face, and the other one took a. What did you shoot him with? Snot?
Just a rock out of my sling.
With a little sling right between the eyes. So they have both been hit.
So yeah, diplomacy's out the window. All right, so I'm gonna billy club one of them into submission.
These guys have very sharp knives.
Okay. Well, I have a very blunt club. All right. So the one that looks most injured, I'm gonna crack with my club.
That would be the first one that came out, and that would be the one that took 2 staffs to the face.
Okay.
He's got a bloody nose, and you could already see a big purple welt forming on the side of his face here from one of the staffs. But it looked like the staff broke his nose, and he's kind of pissed.
Okay, I'm swinging to incapacitate. I don't want to kill him just yet.
Okay, so if you want, we could take a look at all the other actions you could take. I don't know if you've taken a look at those things.
I have the PDF here, so bear with me.
Yeah, so there's different actions you could take beyond just...
Where the hell is it? Guide me here. Do you know what page?
Yeah, hold on, I'm looking for it.
The other actions you can take in combat.
Yeah.
Action. Okay, I got it.
What page are you in?
And page 48. Screw it. Attack.
Okay.
But I'm attacking to like knock him out, not to just crush his skull.
Okay.
So let's see if this works. No boons or banes, I guess. Okay. 16. Why didn't it roll damage? Oh, god damn it.
16 hits.
Ow. 5 damage. Is he still up?
He's still up.
Durable son of a bitch.
Yeah. He's still up and he's looking at his gauging his situation, and there's 4 of you, 2 of them, but they're holding big knives. So right now they're gonna take their chances.
I will continue to shout to order them to drop their weapons.
Make a challenge roll. You're gonna you're gonna try to intimidate them, or
Sure. As nastily as I could say, to drop, as in the most policeman voice I can muster, to drop their weapons. Is that just a straight D20?
yes, it always is. But I'm gonna give you a boon because you are an quote unquote officer of the law, kind of.
Okay.
You are trying to intimidate. I need you to make a will attack roll. So you're basically gonna add your will modifier.
Which is 0 anyway, so that would be a 10 total.
That's what you rolled?
Yeah. An 8 on the D20 and a 2 on the boon.
Oh, I see. Well, you're rolling against their will, and their will is 9.
Oh, wow.
So when you start screaming and waving your hands around and sort of your weapon, your club, he says,
Okay. No need to fight over this. Let's talk this out.
Start talking.
Well, we were hired by some posh knobs here in town to keep people away from the house. They threw us some good coin, so why not?
Why?
Why?
Why keep away from the house?
They didn't tell us that. They just gave us the coin to keep people like you away from the house.
What's going on in there? What do you see coming in and out?
There's some sort of bandage thing running out every now and then and bringing people back.
Bandage
Did you
thing.
see him tonight?
Tonight? Nah, can't say I have. We're gonna run now. We You seem to be in control here now. Good luck with that.
they start taking steps back like to run away.
Well, I sure as hell ain't gonna catch him. Don't let me see you again.
Oh, don't worry, friend.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I
They
got.
kind of can't believe that you're letting them run away like this, and they're
I'm
sort
a
of,
dwarf. It's not like I can catch them. If
They're-
anybody else wants to chase after
they're-
them,
they're-
knock yourselves out.
they're kind of cautiously walking back, looking at you like almost thinking, is this for real, or they're just gonna let us go?
All right.
They turn and flee.
Okay. So I'm already, like, standing proud that I showed them who's boss.
Right.
Is that
All right.
is the house building connected to any other building, or does it stand completely separate?
No, it stands alone.
How many entrances?
2, but one of them is boarded up. You hear a door slam in the back of the house. Pa! very fast, very quickly.
I rush over there. I run back there.
I will follow.
You
I'll cover the front.
the door has been pushed open, swung open almost violently, and you can see on the ground um, fresh footsteps on the mud. But whatever fled has either jumped over a wall or climbed a wall or something because there's no one to be seen. It was very quickly. By the time you made it out back to the side of the house, or to the back of the house, whatever opened that door is no longer there, unless you think it went in the house. But the footsteps would tell you that
Mhm.
it was headed the opposite direction.
Okay. I go in through the back door.
From the front, can I sense that there's anybody? If there's anybody inside?
From the front, the
Yeah.
front of the house is boarded up. There's no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the windows are boarded. The door is boarded. Um, the the roof is partially collapsed. I mean, this place is a dump.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. So yeah, I'll head around back as well.
All right, it's 12:30. I think we're gonna call it a night.
Okay.
Right before we step into the house.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
It's a good cliffhanger.
Um.
All right.
All right. Well, I hope you guys had fun.
Did
Yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting.
And,
Sorry for my tech issues. I still don't know why I was having those issues.
And we managed to keep our 13 viewers along for the ride tonight. Thank you, our viewers, for staying with us throughout
Yeah.
throughout the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Make sure you upload it.
it
Upload it to YouTube because it stays on Twitch only for a week.
it took a little bit of it was a little bit ham-fisted to get you guys to sort of be connected and be friends, but it is what it is. I'd rather start with you guys knowing each other, and we should have probably just said that from the top, but it's all right.
It's all
Yeah.
good. It wouldn't be an RPG campaign intro session if there wasn't a little.
If there wasn't a little
Ham-fisting.
bit of ham-fisting nudging going on.
Just general awkwardness.
Yeah. But I love the mood of this game and the whole tone of the game. It's so cool.
It's cheerful.
Right.
You know, bubblegum and balloons.
High magic. I'm expecting a My Little Pony to run through the scene.
Can't wait to play the next one.
All right, great. All right, guys. So I'm gonna close shop for the night, and
Night, everyone.
All right. Good night, everybody. It was
All
fun.
right, guys.
Take care.
Take care.
to the streamers, good night.